The AU-1 Golden Boy Corsair. Was that a good shot with the M18? I thought so, but I'm not the only one that can hit a target in this game. Is it just me, or does the Panther have the smallest weak points in its own battle rating? Very difficult target. Anyway, that's a topic for another time. I don't think the Panther is overpowered by any means, so there is that. Let's talk about the AU-1. And like other German vehicles, the Corsair that we're looking at today pulls like a Focke-Wulf. It really just does not produce a high angle of attack when you're using simplified controls. So with the mouse aim, it's incredibly sluggish, and even manually inputting keyboard controls, you can see we barely avoid clipping the grass too deeply there with our face as we drop our first 6 bombs. You'll see that I'm carrying the 6 500-pounders, which can get kills, and 3 1,000-pounders. I could carry a 2,000-pound bomb on the central pylon, but I don't find that it makes enough of a difference in terms of results to make up for the fact that it makes this airplane even heavier. It really was a disappointing aircraft when I first started playing it, but now that I treat it like a Focke-Wulf, you can see a quick 3 ground kills, and we're zoom climbing away from the battlefield. This is a good time to check the skies and dot sighted. We're gonna rebuild our energy and come in with an energy advantage if we can on that enemy fighter. And herein, I'm really starting to enjoy the AU-1. As I mentioned, it's a heavy plane. It doesn't pull hard. I really feel like it could stand to have an elevator buff, even though it is the heaviest Corsair by a fair margin. It feels even more sluggish than, say, a P-47, which has significantly more mass and essentially the same engine. And when you look at the size of the elevator on this thing, you just expect to get more out of it than you do, especially since this is modern enough of a Corsair to even have access to a G-suit. Now, maybe it is in keeping as we take down that Ju-87. He is way out of his battle rating, and it shows. Now, one aircraft that can do well even in an up tier is whatever the heck version of the A-21 is trying to run us down and gun us down right now. The guns on that thing, so impressive, and they make up for a lot where the climb rate of the aircraft could be lacking, along with its good roll rate and very responsive controls. And just, it's hard to put a finger on it, but the A-21 pusher prop that the Swedes have access to is it just has really good overall responsiveness and stability in the controls. It has a really nice flight model in War Thunder. It never wobbles. It doesn't do this bullshit. Now, my airplane is like twice as heavy as his, right? And yet, every time I fire my cannons, the whole nose dips down significantly. It really throws off your aim when you're shooting. The only thing that does that quite as badly as this particular Corsair does at this particular time is, that I've experienced, is the Cannon Chaika, and that sort of makes sense. It's really a lightweight aircraft, and it has two very powerful 20mm in its wings. I don't appreciate that it does that on the Cannon Chaika. It's very annoying, and I definitely don't appreciate that it does that on the AU-1. Having said that, that was 3 very quick ground kills that were fairly easy to acquire. Once you, again, you have to get a feel for how this thing flies. And look at that, we just can't aim at this guy, partially because our engine is dead, but also to a large extent because of the fact that the mouse aim does not compensate for the recoil of the cannons. So that's just flight model stuff, right? It seems like every plane in War Thunder has a different modus operandi when it comes to the flight model, and the AU-1 definitely leaves some things to be desired, but in the end, it's an odd duck in terms of how it flies, but it does definitely have the power that you're used to seeing in other high-tier Corsairs in the game. It has a beautiful camouflage. I really love the Marines color scheme and the big Marines logo or decal. Just call it text. There are not a lot of aircraft that are dedicated to the Marines specifically in this game. In fact, I can only think of this one. So that's pretty neat. And in the end, when you compare this with other attackers and take it as a 5.7 attacker and not a 5.7 fighter, it is fantastic. It has a lot of killing potential. Once you get a feel for the 500-pound bombs, then you can get a kill. We're just going to ditch all the bombs. Thank you. Welcome to a beautiful dogfight against a Yak-9, brought to you by Toshio Thunder. Now we're going to play the energy game. That's right, the review of AU-1 is cancelled. It's time to shelter in place in the cockpit of this Corsair and draw out the fight. The Yak-9 can easily beat me in the vertical or in turning maneuvers, so what I'm doing is I'm extending away, and his speed is going to bleed off in the shallow climb a lot faster than mine. You can see him firing the gun a few times at around, I'd say, 1 kilometer of range, hoping for a lucky shot, and then he turns away. Now once he gives me his tail, I can build up a huge amount of energy diving and zooming toward him, which, if I don't manage to get some good hits on him, is going to be my only recourse once I start to close, because I am going to overshoot if I don't manage to shoot him down. So let's do this. One of the things that I both enjoy and detest about we missed the shots, but he is at he's going to take a while to turn around and get the reversal on us, and we're back to square one. Again, speculative shots by him, but he already knows what I'm going to do, so he has other fish to fry, apparently. He wants to make some things happen, and he's not really trying to focus us the way maybe he should have. The cannons on this thing do smack very hard, by the way. The same 20mm AN-M2, AN-M3, I'm not quite sure, cannons that we're used to seeing on 20mm Corsairs and a bunch of the other 20mm armed aircraft for the Americans. 33mm armor penetration at danger close range against ground targets, and very good performance overall. And you can see we are definitely spraying here because we need to take him down. We're both at fairly low speed, so if I was going to overshoot, I would be dead. So we take him down, and cut to shortly thereafter in the match. we've spotted another dot, and I was mentioning that I both love and hate the fact that there are no markers on aircraft in ARB. I really like the clean look. I love the fact that you can actually use stealth and set up a variety of different attacks on enemies who aren't aware of you that wouldn't be possible in a game mode with markers for the aircraft. And honestly, I'd like to see I need to pause. I was supposed to tell you this is the Corsair that can outfly a Zero. even if it's the Zero with the pontoons. I'm not sure what that guy was doing in this match, but I appreciate him for showing up. Anyway, that's the AU-1. I really am starting to enjoy it. 5.7 can be kind of difficult for the Americans right now because of the extremely capable, well-armored opponents that it faces on the German team. A lineup at 5.7 Germany that gets better with every BR update, and it looks like a good number of very capable American tanks are going up in battle rating, and I think that they're going to be okay. Except the Jumbo. Except the Jumbo. Looks like it's back to suffering. I remember the days when the Jumbo suffered, and it will suffer again. I suspect. I could be wrong. Anyway, I think that a lot of the things that we see with the AU-1 are going to be that way for quite some time. I really would prefer if the cannons didn't pitch down the airplane so much when you're firing, but I'll get used to it. It's a quirk, not a deal breaker. And just all the pylons on the bottom of the plane, the cool blazing white underbelly, and the Marines text. Just a really good looking airplane. Big, huge, stupid, dumb, useless elevator. Big, huge, stupid, dumb, useless rudder. But it could be worse. It's bad, but it's not Focke-Wulf bad. Maybe it'll have its flight model updated after 15 years or so. Until then, enjoy this Jingles landing, and excuse me, I will catch you guys in the next video. And let's roll out with a nice little kill montage, shall we? As always, there is a link to my Discord in the description of this video. This is an entirely for funsies YouTube channel. I just do this for entertainment, as a way of sharing what I'm doing in the gaming world and sharing my life with you all. And my favorite thing is to get to know you and have you share with me, including your replays, in the Discord. Anyway, catch you guys in the next video. Bye bye.
Schedule is long, but anyway, let's get started. So